This is the Being Your Own CEO Success Circle. And this morning we are going to explore Qigong with Nancy Kreitz. My name is Lowell Ann, and in my coaching and consulting, I help solopreneurs stay focused and motivated as we take them their business to the next level. And we use some pretty simple structures and some pretty easy technology. So we'll be right back after this. Greetings wherever you are, and welcome to Being Your Own CEO. This is a weekly success circle intended as a support for solopreneurs. We get together because we enjoy each other's company, and we've gotten to know each other, by the way, on the internet. And we've discovered that we enjoy experimenting and trying new things and sharing information. Actually, you can discover what we stand for by visiting my website, beingyourown.ceo.com. So I want to welcome the viewers on the panel this. Oh, I'm all muddled up this morning. I want to welcome the viewers on the VCP page and invite them to tell us where they are and what they're doing and what's new with them. And then today, I also want to invite our panelists to introduce themselves and say what they do and what's new with them and anything that's exciting. So let me see. Bill, how would you like to start this morning?
By unmuting myself, I guess. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bill Graham. My new project is Shy Guy Productions, where we try to get everybody who wants to live streaming, whether you need a one-click production or you need the training, the assets, or whatever it takes to do it yourself.
Right on. So nice to have you back, Bill.
Thank you. Nice to have the space open again.
Right on. And okay, I'm trying to think of the order in which people came. Actually, I should have, if I were going to do it in the proper order, I should have asked Vivek because I think he was the first one here. So Vivek, why don't you go next?
Namaste. My name is Vivekanand. People call me Vivek. Vivek Technology is my brand. Unify, simplify, amplify life is my tagline. So, before I forget, I wish everyone a happy Diwali, whether you are an Indian or not. Happy wishes for everyone. I'm in England, UK. The temperature has been up and down a bit, but it is in the autumnal range now. So colder by the day. We all have, I think, turned our clocks back, and we are we have lost the summer time. So
Yes, and I was saying that I was waking up very early in the morning, even before an hour before my alarm goes off. Now I'm waking up even 1 hour earlier. So
And staying up an hour later to catch that last TV show we used to watch. So I don't know where we're saving an hour at.
right. Anyway, so anything new with you, Vivek?
I have been playing with this Google Home Hub. So see,
Yeah. I visualize that as being a really fancy thing for following recipes in the kitchen.
for me, it's more of a device that I can develop something on, and okay, yes, people who are in the kitchen could also give some commands, and which I might be able to process, and that's where I would like to. I'm looking at Google Home development, which is to develop something for the Google Home devices. So that's the thing that I'm looking at these days.
Aha. So we'll be wanting to stay on in touch with where that goes. How interesting. Cool. Right on. Let me see. Nancy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Good morning and welcome, everyone. Nice to see you here today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Nancy Kreitz, holistic practitioner, holistic nutritionist, Qigong instructor, practitioner, meditation. Those are my things. And Hygge for Health is all about the simple art of health and wellness and wisdom. And Hygge is a Danish word. Basically, it means living in the moment, sparking joy, and really keeping it simple, enjoying home-cooked meals, walking in nature, those sorts of things. So
Now,
the elements that I bring to Hygge are Qigong, which we'll be speaking about today, and great supplementation, and
wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Thank you. There we go. So,
Now you got to spell Hygge for everyone.
it's Hygge, but it's pronounced Hygge, like Hue, like Hygge.
Hygge. All right.
And it was the word of the year in 2016. And it's they teach university courses. It's really the thing right now in terms of getting it right. You know, we're caught up with buying and bigger, more. This is the opposite. Less.
So
Better,
that
better.
sounds like where the youth of today are going.
Here's hoping. Yeah, here's hoping.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Well, I'm looking forward to our conversation this morning, so I'm happy you're here.
Thank you.
Fred, how about you?
Yes, I'm Fred Jones. I'm located in the Victoria area on the west coast of Canada on Vancouver Island, British Columbia. And I work with young people, talking about young people and talking about word of the year. Last year it was youthquake. Very interesting word. So Nancy, it goes along in a way because what you were saying is very similar to what children need to be more in the moment rather than all of the stuff that we've been teaching them. So I work with a lot of young people and I'm encouraging them to join online sessions where they can learn communication and leadership skills to become the leaders that we need. I had a wonderful session with a group. This was not online, face-to-face. I worked with a couple of groups as well on Friday night, and they decided they were going to have their Halloween party, and it was all organized by them. I just showed up, and I wore this hat. Yeah. And,
Love
and I
it.
wore these sunglasses, and I watched these young people bring food, and they had organized all the food. There was no junk food. I thought it would be chips and candy because of Halloween. No, there was things like sushi and meatballs and things they had made. A lot of them had made. And then they had blew me away as well, because it was just wonderful. They said, before we can eat, we all have to speak for a minute about something. And they all did that. And it was all organized totally. All I did was open the doors, wear my hat, and a few other things. And then they had an executive meeting. They decided that they were organizing the club even better. And I didn't know anything about any of this. I just happened to show up. They are wonderful. And they probably, some of the things that Nancy mentioned, those are the things they need as well. And because it's such a stressful life for them. But Friday was a highlight for me, just to see what they did on their own.
But that certainly doesn't sound like what everybody seems to be complaining about the younger generation, that can't put their phones down and, all of that. That, I mean, what you're describing doesn't fit that at all.
No. I think, no. But that's what I try and encourage them to do. I'm not saying they did it because of that, but give them an environment where they can communicate and talk and work with each other and plan and do things. Because that's what they're going to need to do in the future. The world's changing so much that they have to be creative. That's what they need to think. It goes back to the knowledge-based training we're giving them is wrong. They need wisdom-based, where they can use their brains and think and creative. And that's what it's all about.
Well, it sure sounds like you're having fun.
Oh, it's a highlight of my week, that.
Yeah, no kidding. Back to normal. Alana, are you better this week?
Yes, I am. Thanks very much for asking. Yeah. I got knocked down pretty well and had the flu for about 6 days I didn't feel normal probably until last Thursday and Friday, but I was still kind of tired and whatnot, but yeah. So yeah, Alana here, coming to you from Ireland. My company is ALB Digital Marketing Solutions, and I help small businesses maintain their website and keep it up to date with blog posting, article writing, other types of maintenance, looking at statistics and that sort of thing to do keyword research and all that. So, and I also do online marketing.
And I saw your new website this week.
My new website I launched last Saturday. Yep, right after my birthday.
Yeah, right on.
Perfect time. Perfect time.
No kidding. So you're a Scorpio as well.
Lots of people are having birthdays.
Yeah, I was just.
It's the Scorpio time of year.
Yes. Yes, I'm a Scorpio as well, Alana.
Okay,
Alana?
When's your birthday?
Yesterday.
Oh, happy belated.
Yeah, right on.
Alana, could you
Yes.
post in the comments your website URL?
Yeah, I
please?
will.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see, okay, let me get over there.
Yeah. So David, in the meantime, how would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm Dave Flannery with Affordable Websites for Small Businesses and United Country Sauk Valley Realty, Team Flannery. And my new project is I've just finished a website for a customer, got him published and up and going, and just doing the fine details of the SEO, and starting another one this week with Jay's class, and that's going to be air fryers for homeuse.com.
What kind of fryers?
Air fryers. It's the new countertop device that you take and you place chicken and you coat it in flour or whatever that you would normally deep fry, and you place it in this, and it operates as a convection oven and heats the outside of it so that it looks like it's been fried. It tastes like it's been fried.
Wow.
And it's a lot healthier. You take, instead of having, you know, like 4 or 5 tablespoons of fat in a chicken breast, down to, you know, like half a teaspoon.
Wow.
So it's where I'm going with that.
So you found your you know what your niche is going to be. I haven't figured
Yeah.
out what mine is.
Yep.
Spent
I've
all
had
day
this one-
yesterday trying to figure it out.
I've had this one in my back pocket for quite some time, and just haven't found the time to do it, and decided, well, I got this will work just right for Jay.
Right on.
I have an idea for
wait.
you, Alan.
Say again, Nancy.
I have an idea for you.
Oh, do you?
I do too. Maybe your niche could be how to develop a niche.
Well, I've already posted something on that.
I got a couple comments. I'm also running the monitoring the comments for being your own CEO, a Success Circle, and Javita has been on and says namaste to everyone and happy Diwali. And I see Alana has posted her website, and
Right on. So happy Diwali to you too, Javita. I'm happy you're here.
so that brings us up to date there. So
Oh,
okay.
and there I see Heidi just logged in as well. So welcome, Heidi.
Yep, there's Heidi.
Yeah.
I was talking and not refreshing, so
Well, mine just refreshed automatically for a change.
well, it doesn't mind. I was sitting there, so yeah. Welcome, Heidi.
Right on. So when we were just as we were the time was coming, we were discussing something that David is doing that I think is really fascinating. He is using an old cell phone as his webcam. And so if anybody who's watching or listening would like to kind of know something about that, I encourage you to talk to David. I mean, what a great way to use an old cell phone.
Yes, I've got one in my office too that I'm setting up. It's fairly easy. Got little quirks, like if you let it set overnight, it doesn't. When you come back in, you have to return it on. But outside of that, it works really good, and I really like the picture. And I don't. I've got a window behind me, and 1 or 2 lights on in the room, and they're not facing right at me, and I still got a really good picture.
Yeah, it's
good. I noticed the glare on my glasses isn't as much.
Yeah.
Today.
So.
It's still there. I have yet to figure out how to get it away from my my monitors glare right back into my glasses.
Yes.
And I have to figure out what I got to do to get rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta tilt the arms up.
Yeah, I tried that. It does work.
That's not my trick. I got that from Andrew Hatchett.
I don't know if there's something you put in front of your screens that'll diffuse the light.
Well, I can tell you that my the glasses I'm wearing are especially for computer work, and I think they're treated in some way. I'm not sure, but
yeah, there is an anti-glare coating that can be applied to the lenses, but even with that, the glare will not go away completely.
No.
I'm using
the same
such glasses, but you still can see some glare. You can't.
Yeah.
And it depends on whether it's your lights or your monitor. And David's your monitor, so
right.
In my cases, it's my lights, so I just need to get my lights higher.
Interesting.
It the one that's really hurting is the Loan's website, because it's got a lot of white space on it, and that white is just glaring right off. Anyway, one last thing. Heidi's asking if we could discuss sometime how to proceed with VCP when Google Plus goes away.
Yes, and I have, Heidi, just for your benefit, I have connected with Kyle, the person who created this, and I do know what he's going to say. So, yeah, maybe we could do that. But this morning we planned something else. So I had asked Nancy if she would share with us some of the things about Qigong. I mean, I'm in her class, but I mean, I have a sense of what it is, but I came to the realization, like, I have no history of it. I don't know where it comes from. I just don't know anything about it. So it occurred to me that some other people might find it interesting to know more about it. So Nancy, where does Qigong originate?
Well, basically, it's in the same lineage, I guess we could say, or school of thought of traditional Chinese medicine. So Tibet and China, it seems, and it is around 5,000 years old.
Wow.
It's been around forever. And basically, it's all about energy. And can I just take it away?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. And thanks for the heads up on the class. You know, when in the class I'll just mention I teach Qigong in the class format, which is 1 hour, and I also do private sessions. So I'll do healing. Distance healing is very effective, more effective than in person actually, and I also teach Qigong over Zoom. But the point with the class is to get people involved in the actual practice of Qigong so they can experience the benefits, which Lola and I certainly hope you have been doing. But it's good to talk about this. So let's just start by putting a smile on your face, even if you have to paste it on. Just a gentle little smile, and take 3 gentle deep breaths down into your navel. And then 1 more that lifts your chest and drops your shoulders.
It's true. When you do those deep breaths, you could have a tendency to raise your shoulders. So that's
And
good
then-
to remind us to drop the shoulders.
To drop your shoulders. And smile is really sort of the central theme because it's about joy, it's about healing, and we'll get more into that. But the smile, an acronym for smile is Start My Internal Love Engine. So anyway, it's all about energy and the miracle of Qigong. And Qigong is a medical practice. It's a healing practice, self-healing, or someone like myself can help you with that. And it's based on the philosophy that everything in the universe is energy. A rock, a tree, a star, your computer, a table, each one of us, and the cells in our body. And as Albert Einstein said, energy is constantly being transformed. The question is it transforming for the better or the worse? And with Qigong, we ensure that its energy is transforming for the better. So it's a very good preventative, and as well as it builds health and prevents many diseases. But let's just talk about the word Qi. Many people have trouble pronouncing the word Qigong. So Qi you can think of as C-H-I, if that makes it easier. Qi means energy or vitality or life force. And Gong means movement, work, or transformation. So it's basically transforming or working with your body's energy, your energy. So it is basically all around energy and transforming the cell. And there are so many benefits. So as I mentioned, it is a medical Qigong, and it helps us to connect it's a moving meditation, and there's a sitting meditation. So I'll just go over the elements. There's meditation, guided meditation. We focus on the breath. We focus on moving meditation or our body movements, visualization, and sound. And there's also the philosophy of good, better, best. And if you're in the class or you're experiencing Qigong, if you believe in it, it works. And if you don't believe in it, it works anyway. So it's very powerful. And I wrote notes. Like I teach this every week I've done it for years and years, but I got a little nervous today. But anyway, so back to this. It's all about joy and connecting with our inner joy. So in our group, we share a joy at the beginning of the class. We put a smile on our face, we breathe down, we do the 3 gentle deep breaths, and we visualize a ball of light in our lower dantian. So the lower dantian is a powerful energy center deep in behind your navel. And it is pretty much focused, its purpose is physical healing. So Qigong also affects the mind, body, and spirit. And like acupuncture, it's like acupuncture without needles. So it's based on energy flowing through the body, through the meridians or the channels. And our energy is meant to flow like a stream in the forest, just very simply and easily. And everything is great, it's fresh, it's renewed. And then if a beaver builds a dam or a tree falls across the stream, that creates a blockage. And that blockage causes an imbalance. So, there's a flood on one end, there's a drought on the other end. Well, that's basically what happens in our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. We create blockages in our lives, and that's with stress, living in the wrong environment, poor food quality, taking the wrong supplementation or medication, life. I'm sure you all can think right now of something that could probably be causing blockage in your life. And what happens is the blockage can be also in terms of like an emotion, like you may be all of a sudden like, I'm just feeling blah, or I've just lost my mojo, or I've got some pain in my shoulder. Any symptom. A symptom is simply a message that there's a blockage occurring, and you need to address that. So it can, through practicing Qigong, you will remove the blockage. The tree will be removed from the stream, and the flow will be resumed. So the blockages can manifest on any level. Again, like I mentioned, spiritual, mental, emotional, or physical. So on that note, we just want to, we don't have needles, but we have the movements, and the intention is huge. The intention is really, really big. And I say to people, leave your day at the door with that smile on your face and just be here now. And the fact that you're in the room or you're in the practice, just that alone is healing. So it's kind of like a miracle. And in the work I've done over the last 10 or more years, I've been a meditator since 1970. Does that tell you how old I am? So spirituality has always played a very big part of my life, and I find without it, I definitely get off balance quite drastically. But I have seen, working with hundreds of clients over the last few years, many years, that the combination on a set, like I look at the cell, and when people come in with symptoms, it's pretty easy for me to detect what the source could be. And I can help them remove that. And then as well, I throw in some top quality supplements, very simple again, less is more. And I see transformation occur. So
I got to stop you. Because I got a question.
Okay. I hope I could answer it. I'll do my best.
Well, so you're saying that if a person has a symptom of some sort, that's an indication of a blockage, whether it's mental, physical, or spiritual. Mm-hmm. How do you determine where that blockage is? What do you have a process of some sort that you?
Yeah. I do. So in the class, I mean, well, and you can tell the energy of the room, and you can also feel if somebody's a little bit off, right? So it's a little, I'll be honest, I'm an intuitive as well, and I can feel energy. And if I'm doing, can I just talk about if I'm doing a healing, how that works? You do a scan, like an energy scan. So just sort of like on my body, just like on the outside, just go quickly over, and you have to trust the information you're getting. It's from the heart. It's really from the heart. It's not from the head. So it's really feeling and honoring what you feel. And usually when you feel a blockage or you feel, an imbalance, the energy change, it feels different. It might be heat, it might be a little bit like this, a little staticky, a little bit thick or out further. And that tells you, but I can tell just by looking at someone where they're off. I can really tell when I'm off. But the important thing with this, Olan, is it's not Western medicine. It's not about, I don't know how to word this. It's not from the head. So it doesn't matter where the blockage came from. Is it from eating at McDonald's last night? Is it because you had a fight with one of your kids, or you're worried about your finances? It doesn't matter, because the blockage is there, and that's all that matters. And removing it is really the goal. Does that answer your question?
Well, sort of. And the thing is I've discovered some of this myself in a sort of different context. But to demonstrate this whole thing about energy and the vibrational thing that happens, like I belong to a community choir, and it's roughly 80 to 100 people gather in this one spot for the community choir. And you can see people, you can feel it yourself. And you can see people arriving and putting their stuff away and going in and getting set up and so forth. And then there's 2 1-hour sessions of singing. And the difference between what you observe in people coming into the room and what you observe in them leaving the room is dramatic, absolutely dramatic. It's like,
that is because you're in sound vibration, which is really healing.
Yeah.
Damn good vibrations.
Yeah.
Right? Really, really, really good vibration.
Yeah.
And good vibrations is not just a catchphrase. It's true. It's a reality. Yeah. And that brings me to, we like to refer to people who practice Qigong as love radiators and spreading the Qi joy. So as you go about your day and your life, having just a simple smile on your face and greeting the clerk at the till, smiling at someone you're passing on the street, making a comment to someone's baby, all of those things are actually healing. Like, you are out there helping other people transform a little bit.
So by smiling at somebody else, you're having you're healing yourself.
And
is
others.
That what you're saying?
Yeah. And in terms of energy, we've done work in workshops where, you'll write someone to leave the room. You ask someone to leave the room, and they're a volunteer, and we'll I don't like to even say it even, but you'll get kind of negative about them. Like, okay, what one word could we think about with that person? It's not even really about that person, but let's just say fear or anger. And then they come back in. I do muscle testing. So that's kinesiology, which is working with energy, and it's science-based actually. And they'll be strong when they leave. When they come back in, we just kind of focus on that word, and boom, they are super weak. And then they leave the room again, and we think love or joy or connection. And they come back in, and they're strong again. So even that, right? Like, when you walk in a room, it's like, oh, it's just not feeling so great here. Like your choir, it's feeling great there, right?
Oh yeah.
So that is lifting the vibration. And on that note, Qigong also follows 5 elements, and they're related to emotions, which are really important. So every movement we do, we begin, and this is moving up up the ladder in terms of vibration, which is like a better place to be. Happiness, joy, peace, contentment, gratitude. Gratitude is a super, super high vibration. So if you want to raise your vibration, just right away start looking around you, all the joy that surrounds you. And it's like a little thing like, I just love my pot of tea in the morning. You know, that brings me joy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there's so much I could talk about, but basically sound is one of the elements. And, you know, I was playing that Tibetan bowl the other day there, Vivek, and you're asking about that. I use that in my class, and I can really feel that helps to raise the vibration of the room, as does chanting. So chanting's another element we'll throw in once in a while if we have time. But it is science-based in that Master Lin, who founded Spring Forest Qigong, which is the base of what I do other things too, co-wrote a chapter for the Mayo Clinic on energy healing. And right now there's a really big study happening here in Canada at the University of Toronto, or the Tom Baker Cancer Center in Toronto and the University in Calgary and the University of Toronto. It's called the Match, and it's studying Qigong and its effect on healing cancer.
Really?
So it's really being researched now. It's really coming into the mainstream and being acknowledged as something important.
I have a question.
Yeah, I was just going to ask if anybody did. Go ahead, Jay. You got the conch?
Hello.
Hi.
So my question is based on the what you've been talking about with the energy, and can negative energy be absorbed? Meaning, like, so if someone else's negative energy, and in parallel, does energy coming from electronics, can that affect you, or can that be absorbed in a negative manner?
Very good question. And that brings me to another philosophy around energy, that there's no such thing as good energy or bad energy. Pardon me, it's too much energy in one area, like the blockage thing. However, we are impacted by like bad energy, if we want to call that like we can say the effect of the vibrations or someone's intentions around us, or you're just around somebody you don't feel great, or they may, you know what they're saying. You know what they're thinking, right? But that does impact us. And what that will do is lower our vibration, right? Just like when I mentioned that experiment with the muscle testing and who's strong and strengthening and weakening. And yes, EMF is another cause of blockages. But also your mind plays a huge role. So if we sit here in front of our computers and think, oh man, I am like being irradiated here, or whatever we might think, it's the effect will be more so than if we're saying, hey, this is a great tool and it's really helping others and myself and the world, ideally, right, to communicate more easily and to share information and knowledge. Yeah,
I get it. So there's a psychosomatic element to it, whereas if you're saying like, oh man, just staring at the computer all day, that's going to obviously change, the energy that you're outputting.
But on that note, if you have been sitting in front of the computer all day, I mean, that's like a really great reason to get outside and get grounded. Get out there, walk around, feel your feet on the ground, breathe in that air. There's movements we can do too, which time is not really allowing today, right, Lolan? But I love those questions because if they're really relevant and they're really true. And again, we can decide, right? It's how, like that whole thing, like we create our own reality. So if we believe like everything is crappy, like, ugh, right? We're surrounded by all of this, whatever it is in the air, or we just smile and go through our day. Our chances are much better of remaining healthy through that.
Can I ask you?
And I find that with healing, right? That whole attitude. Where's your vibration? Are you like scared out of your mind and your life is done? Or, hey, you know what? this is a gift for whatever reason, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to get through it.
Mm.
So all of that, smiling. And another thing I want to mention, just in the opening, we bring energy up into our heart. We see it as light, and we breathe it into our heart, and we visualize it filling our bodies, and then eventually our circle in the room, and you can keep going with that. But when you're connected to your heart, and just by smiling, you connect to your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And the breath, you have a direct line to, I'll use the word divine. It's not a religion, but some people can say God or Jesus or Buddha or source energy or the universe, whatever it may be. The wording doesn't matter. But you have a direct line to that healing energy that's there, and it's unlimited and unconditional. So that smile in combination with a nice breath and just feeling love in your heart.
So now Bill has a question.
Oh, yes.
Well, what I'm hearing is kind of, it's we choose to be happy. We have to choose how we see things. Whether different things came to mind, like the glass is half full, the glass is half empty. How can we use Qigong to train ourselves to look at the more positive side? There's some things that we just automatically go to that dark place instead of, as you're saying, see the beauty of it or whatever. So how can we use Qigong to basically train ourselves to be more positive?
Well, the philosophy, would answer that. And that's why at the beginning of the class, we share joy. We go around the circle and everyone shares a very simple joy from the week. And we're not looking about, hey, I got five grand this week, or I bought a new couch. It's not that. It's like they'll talk about the air quality or the seasonal change or spending time with a dog or kids, or, like Jay, you mentioned taking your kids out Halloweening and how fun that was. Like, it's that. And even sharing it, the first couple of weeks, you can see people like, ooh, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? And then after a while, we really get to know each other just from one or two sentences of what brings them joy. And often, like for myself one day, and I'm just using this as an example of how simple it is. I was driving on Hillside Road here at rush hour, which is not my favorite place or thing to do. A little busy, but the school was just letting out. And on the sidewalk, there was a guy with curly hair, and his little girl with same curly hair, blonde hair. She was sitting on the seat of his bike, and he was pushing it. And they were both laughing, like just having so much fun. And I'm driving, and it was just like that I saw it. That was my joy. That brought me joy. So when we begin, I guess what I'm saying is to cultivate that. So we cultivate joy, and we create events in our lives or situations in our lives, or we begin to find situations or anything in our life that sparks joy. And the more you look, or the more you shift your awareness towards what's bringing me joy at this moment, the more you see it. And before you know it, it's like everywhere. So that is part of the practice. And I know for the first 15 minutes, often depending on the size of the class, we're talking about that, and you see people at first like looking at the clock and when are we going to get going? And then we talk about how this is an essential part of the practice, is joy. Because that's how we live our lives each and every day, ideally. We have the opportunity to tap into that joy. But can I do a little energy game with you?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, wait a sec, because I'm conscious that there are others in the group who may have a question they would like to ask.
Okay, any more questions?
Yeah. Don't feel as though you have to, but I just want to make sure everybody has an opportunity if they wish.
Gita was asking on the website, on your website.
Pardon me?
Jivita? Yeah.
Asking whether Qigong is similar to yoga.
I believe that Qigong and yoga have a similar goal. I think their premise is similar in terms of inner peace, calm, connection. There's definitely they have that spiritual element in common, definitely. Qigong is much more like anybody. You can do it in a wheelchair. You can do it in your bed. You know, you can do it standing, sitting, lying down. You can visualize it if you don't feel that your body's up to doing the movements. Very easy, would you say, Luann?
Yes, I was going to say the visualization is really the critical thing. And something else that I wanted to mention before we get too farther along, you were talking about some of the things that we can do to improve the energy that we feel and that we exude, etc. I discovered a long time ago, because my joy is the ocean. And we went to the beach this summer and walked the beach out on the mud flats on the tide was out, and walking in bare feet on those I mean, you could just feel I could feel an incredible energy just from walking the beach. And so there are lots of things. The key to it is the awareness of it.
Exactly.
Noticing things, noticing
simple joys and awareness. You're right.
Yeah.
And that would be the perfect thing to do after sitting in front of a computer all day. Actually. Grounding.
Yeah.
And you got to get the right perspective. I mean, driving home at 6:30 at night with the sun coming through your windshield while you're driving in traffic, it makes it very hard to appreciate a sunset.
Yeah.
But
just breathe and smile.
Sit out on your back deck, and I mean, I never noticed a sunset until I retired and moved to Belize. And when I come back here now, and I'm not in the hustle and bustle in Canada, our sunsets are just as beautiful here.
Oh yeah.
I just never saw it other than through my windshield before.
Yeah. So there's a new perspective, right?
Yeah.
Changing your perspective.
Yeah. Awareness, it's a big thing.
Huge. And so that's another thing that Qigong is about, right? Noticing the small things. And so after we share a joy, we share a one-word intention for the week, which could be peace, patience, understanding, whatever it might be, right? But I'd like you to experience energy a little bit yourself if you want.
I thought I heard David say something.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
No, it's not
Ever
okay.
since I've been a young man, or young child, I should say, I've always appreciated sunsets, and every chance I can, I stop and look at them when I hit the right moment. Now, it may be weeks, it may be months before I see a good one again, but I always try to watch them. I don't know why.
Joy.
Yep.
It makes you happy.
Yeah.
So I'd like to, if you're all done questions, I'm happy to answer as many more as I can. Are we good to go?
I think we're good to go.
Let's play an energy game.
All right.
Okay. So Lolan's done this already. I'd like you to just put your hands together. So on the bottom, the base of your palms, there's little lines. Just match those lines up and just hold your hands up. And just look at your fingertips, and you usually will find one hand has the fingers are a little longer, and if not, just choose a hand. Got one?
Yeah.
So hold the shortest hand in the air, the one that's a little shorter in the air. Okay. Now I want you to visualize just energy coming out from your heart. And I'm just gonna say this and just visualize again and breathe and smile. My fingers are growing longer. My fingers are growing longer and longer and longer still. I feel my fingers are growing, growing, growing. They're getting longer and even longer. And now measure them again. Powerful group here. Did you notice a change?
Yes, they became equal in length.
Yeah.
So that is the power of your intention and your thought, the energy of your thoughts. So thoughts are energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So does that kind of explain a little bit about how the power you have to be a healer?
Mm.
And Master Lin's philosophy is a healer in every family and a world without pain. So yeah, true health on the cellular level. So it actually does transform on the cellular level, which is pretty phenomenal.
So, and that's what made you sort of make a reference to the medical experience of energy healing.
Mm-hmm.
What that can do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, you can just go a bit about your day activating and cultivating vital energy and just knowing it's flowing through at all times and it's transforming at all times. And again, that's about your intention. So if you're feeling like, oh, my life is like just love, right? And that word hate, or even the way we talk about our bodies, my neck is killing me. Oh, this damn knee. Like those, listen to the energy behind those words, right? Rather than, gee, I wonder what's going on with my neck. I wonder why my neck is, oh, could it be because I'm uptight about that meeting yesterday or coming up? Or my knee, ooh, is it because I walked 15,000 steps? Or is, oh, I know what I ate yesterday and I didn't take my vitamins. So there's those, it's a good, symptoms are just a little tap on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
To have you look a little deeper at what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and so what you're saying, and Bill's question sort of, I mean, this whole thing about choosing to be positive, choosing to see things in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time, Nancy, you and I and Sue we talked about embrace aging, and we talked about our mindset, the way that you think about your current situation has a huge impact on the joy you have in life and the things that you're able to achieve, etc. So it is a personal choice, isn't it?
Yeah. So, you know, I have a couple of friends, I'll just use them as an example. One's my sister-in-law, and she'll phone me and it's like, ew, I won't even say the words. This person's got that, and this person's got that. And you know what happened to that person? And then there's that. And that's what we're looking forward to. I'm like, can we change this a little bit?
Oh, no kidding.
Right?
Heidi has a comment, funny exercise, the fingers really went equal.
Yes.
Great. Great. So there's the power. There's the power of your mind and your intention. So we cannot separate those.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So yeah, basically smile, keep that love engine going, and be a love radiator so that you are out in the world making a difference in people's lives just with the energy of your smile. You're raising the vibration. And there's nothing more wonderful, right, than you're walking down a street or a walk pathway and you're smiling at someone and they catch your eye and they just, boom, they transform. Not everyone, but many people. They're like, whoa,
yes.
Hi. It's so nice. It's just such a great feeling.
Yeah.
Back when I was single, I was quite the love radiator.
You were, eh?
In that way? Or a little different way, Jay?
Right. Well, yeah. Context, right? Subjective.
Probably good you have your camera muted, Stud.
You have your camera muted.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, it all counts. As long as your intention is good, right?
I think that was Jay's DJ handle, the love radiator.
That is fantastic, Alana. Fantastic. Hey, someone should grab that one. Oh dear. See, and laughter is the best medicine too, right? So there's those sayings we can look at. There's truth behind them.
Yes.
I'll loan it to you, Jay.
Yeah, right. Sounds
Thank
good.
you for raising the vibration, Jay.
Yeah, that's great.
I do have a question though. So could one in essence come to you, and then you would be able to see someone's energy or feel someone's energy, and in essence, for the lack of a better term, prescribe certain exercises or certain things to do? Or is it something where someone would come and see you, and then you would determine what the issue is, and then you would work with that individual? So I'm trying to understand the benefits of coming to see someone versus just learning it, whether it be learning it online or learning it. What are the advantages of actually going to see a practitioner?
Okay, that's an excellent question. So in the group, in our circle, like it's great energy. People go home, and it takes a while to develop your ability to the point where you can really self-heal, but every little bit counts. So coming to see me, number one, while there's several benefits, or a practitioner, is yes, we can detect where blockages may lie, and we can remove them in a session and maybe a few sessions, but we can make a big difference there. And at the same time, it's holistic, right? So to me, Qigong is one thing, and no matter what your intention is, if you're eating junk or you're eating foods that are inflammatory, you're taking the crappiest vitamins known to man, which are honestly can be very toxic. You need to get all whatever on deck, all hands on deck. So I would do a healing, and I'd make recommendations like do Qigong 10 minutes a day, or smile, or I always get them on the supplements that I love, because I've seen them make a huge difference in spite of whatever else they're doing. And I find that people may or may not do Qigong on their own and may rely on me, which is fine. Some people come to see me every week for that. But if they're taking the supplements, I find that they work on a cellular level too. So I choose I only prescribe or recommend techniques and products that work on a cellular level, because of that transformation that occurs. It's really important to support ourselves on a cellular level. So you leave with a little bit of a protocol, very small, simple. Take your vitamins, the specific vitamins, do 1 or 2 practices, like perhaps journaling. Joy journaling is amazing, or gratitude journaling is a great place to start. Get out in nature if you can. It depends on the person, but yes, we can move them towards healing. And every week, another thing that's important with energy is every time I see someone or they come into the class, they're different. We change because energy is always transforming. So last week, the issue that presented may be completely different than what's going to present this week, depending on what's been going on. Does that answer your question, Jay? Jay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
so Nancy, here's what I noticed in your class
Mhm.
is when we're doing the various movements, etc. There's 17 or 18 people in the room, standing in a circle, each doing what they're doing, guided by Nancy, and there's a certain energy in the room just by everybody's intention being focused on the same thing and doing the same thing. It raises the vibration in the room, and I notice it most in a singing context, but the last time I was there, I suddenly began to notice where there was tension sitting in my body.
Mm-hmm.
I was not aware of that when I went in, but just by doing all of this, the awareness just seemed to be, oh, gee, where did that come from? I hadn't even realized it was there.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that's what happens when you work with when you're doing this kind of thing within a group, and that's a shared experience with Tai Chi. You get the same kind of thing happening using Tai Chi and yoga as well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Good awareness. See, that's part of the process.
Yeah.
And on that note, Qigong is the forefather of practices such as other Chinese Tibetan practices such as Tai Chi. Tai Chi is
an offshoot.
Offshoot. There's the word.
Yeah.
From Qigong. Mm-hmm.
So you said that it was part of the whole Chinese medicine world.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly am very much aware of the value of acupuncture and have used it very successfully. But I hadn't connected Qigong with acupuncture.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what you're saying is if you visualize the meridians and learn a little something about those meridians in the body and visualize where they are and opening the flow, that you could, I guess that would be the self-healing, wouldn't it?
Yes, and you don't have to worry about where the meridians are or their functions. I mean, we can get very scientific about that and talk about, the liver is related to this.
Yeah.
Just know that the movements cover every one of them. And you said something else, but yes, just being aware of, I believe, how you're living your life and the energy you're bringing to your day and to every moment.
So I'm guessing that when somebody comes to you, I mean, and I'm going to suggest this or ask this because I know that in my coaching work, if something's not going well with somebody, all you do is ask them to tell you the story. What's going?
Isn't it amazing how you can tell right away, like just their information of certain words,
yes,
or their body language? There it is.
Yeah, you can get it. You can get it even just by listening to people, and not necessarily looking at them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and interestingly enough, distance healing is way more powerful than in person. I mean, I do work with people one-on-one, and I get great results in my office. But I also work with people around the world, and the healing is, you have to be a little gentler actually, because it's super powerful. It's really like, I don't know how to explain it, but how to explain this phenomenon of us sitting in front of this computer and seeing each other.
Wow.
It's just an energetic, it's another form of energy that we can transmit.
Yeah.
It's our intention. Yeah.
So, Nancy, I see that we've covered an hour already.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And I hope it was helpful.
Well,
and I'm going to be doing a series of videos very soon, focusing on different movements and their benefits, what they're good for, what they can help you with. So.
That will be really interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Right
Stay
on.
tuned for that.
So before we close, have we answered everybody's question? Anybody want to say something as a parting? Fred always wants to have the last word. Go ahead, Fred.
I'm interested in where you meet, because I'm in Victoria as well, and maybe I might be able to join one of your sessions, because I have a friend who does laughter yoga, and I've used laughter yoga with groups of children, but it's everything nothing's new. I mean, this is very old, and it really is talking about the power of the mind. That's really what I come down to, and it's so obvious. The more you talk about improving your life, it all comes back to the power of the mind, and that sounds like this. Even laughter yoga and Tai Chi, and all working with young people. There was a lady who's done studies, and it's got to do with the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. and the difference it makes on just working with young people and saying, oh, you didn't do it yet. Not that you're a failure, you just haven't mastered it yet. And that alone is, again, changing their mindsets. So, but I
It's
don't
coming.
know.
Good,
What?
better, best, right?
Good,
Sorry?
better, best.
Better,
Yes.
best when you're talking to the kids. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, yeah. But, so you didn't manage it this time. Just
Yeah.
keep going, and and that mindset alone is wonderful. And you know, even forest bathing with the Japanese quote, it's amazing. You know, going to the beach, and it's getting your mind in a different method. What I'd like to, my main